What makes women's dating standards realistic versus unrealistic? Hi all. I am 27F and have been trying old for about 9 months. I have gotten a lot of dates, but if I'm being honest, only 2 of these men would meet my requirements for a relationship. I hear a lot about how unrealistic women's expectations are when it comes to dating. I will be honest. I do have a list of requirements that admittedly I am not super flexible on. These include 5 feet 2 or taller. I know I have tried to date someone shorter than me, but I just couldn't get on board. Employed. Earns minimum wage if working full-time. I do have a caveat here in that if they were studying or doing something similar, being unemployed wouldn't be a deal-breaker. Same political beliefs. For me, this is an indication of values, and I would like to share these with a partner. No children and doesn't want children. No drug use, smoking. Alcohol use is not excessive. Good hygiene, able to care for themselves in regard to cooking and cleaning. Good level of intelligence. By this I mean they are curious and interested in learning new things. Not that they need to have a university degree. I will acknowledge that an aspect of this is someone who is able to think critically, and I would like someone who enjoys reading, although enjoying reading would not be a deal breaker. Exercise at least 3 times a week. To me, this is indicative of valuing your health. Good communication, interpersonal skills. Wanting to raise issues and sort through them together. This is a really big one for me, as I'm not the sort of person who can just brush stuff under the carpet. Someone who doesn't work excessively. My love languages are quality time and words of affirmation. Both of the potential men I had considered for a relationship were unable to provide quality time due to overworking. Just to clarify, for me, quality time would be seeing my partner twice a week, e.g., once on a weeknight and once on the weekend. The weekend would not have to be a full day or the whole weekend. I don't want to date certain professions, e.g., medical professionals, military, emergency services. This ties back into the quality time thing I mentioned above. Of course, there are more basic things like kindness, patience, wanting to be attracted to my partner, etc., that largely go without saying. For more context, I don't have a specific ethnicity, religion, appearance that I go for. I have been told multiple times that I am expecting too much. Where and how do you draw this line for yourself? I don't think you're unreasonable at all. As for the height thing, I always found that I was comfortable with shorter men, but the men themselves were not. Many of them had such a chip on their shoulders that it wasn't their height, but their own hang-ups about their height that made me avoid short guys. All seem pretty basic requirements to me. Listen, nothing is wrong here, but I could see gym frequency and employment type as limiting. If you're not noticing enough matches, there are other ways a man can demonstrate a commitment to health, like an intramural sports league, or even a commitment to simple, healthy choices. And there's nothing intrinsically limiting with those professions. That being said, it's absolutely reasonable to ask for everything you want. Honestly, I'd say everything you listed is the bare minimum. I don't think you're expecting too much or being unrealistic at all. It's based on you. The same requirements by 2 different people might be reasonable and unreasonable. If you want someone who works hard and lives a healthy lifestyle, then the odds are good that they want the same. So you'd need to match that energy. If you're a liberal, I meet all those requirements. Except, of course, I don't have a penis. Not sure if that's a deal breaker. Winking face. I think these are pretty standard. You want someone that has some critical things in common with you, and you don't have to be their mom. I think I would give a break on exercising 3 times a week if they have a laborious job or play sports though. This is all very bare minimum, sis. Those don't seem excessive requirements. For example, if you'd said 6, 2, then that's a very small subset, so you'd have only a small that fills that requirement. 5, too easy. None of these are unrealistic. Personally, I feel like it's better to have unrealistic standards than to lower them for someone you won't be happy with. I'd rather be single than with someone that I wasn't happy with. These guys that are complaining about women having unrealistic standards are probably projecting. I actually think having too low standards is the problem. You're just going to end up in a relationship where you're dissatisfied. And your partner will never be good enough. Just aim high and wait for someone who meets your criteria while working on yourself to become a desirable partner for a person like that. Unrealistic is such a weird framing. Why is it realistic to expect people to date men they're not attracted to? Sounds reasonable enough to me. Both of the potential men I had considered for a relationship were unable to provide quality time due to overworking. I mean, you considered them for a relationship. You weren't in one yet. Did you expect them to shift their prior arrangements and plans around to suit you while you two weren't even a thing yet? A single person naturally has less commitments and can thus pour more time and energy into their career. And a lot of people in their late 20s, early 30s do exactly that. Dating is rough, but I never expected the other party to rearrange their priorities either during that stage. You're still getting to know each other. These seem mostly reasonable. The only kinda weird one is exercising 3 times a week, lol. Are you me? Because this is pretty much my list as well. The only thing is I'm more flexible with height because I'm 5'9". My unrealistic thing is that I literally fancy no men in my age range on old. I'm 53, so I'm talking 40-55. They're a bunch of states who don't know how to present themselves. It's depressing and it has become a genuine problem. It's either them or the 1825 help me cross something off my bucket list lads who watch too much MILF porn. Guess I'm staying celibate for the foreseeable future. Unrealistic or not doesn't only your problem if they are or not. So as long as you don't mind taking a long time forever. Do what you want. I know I'm chromosomally on the wrong sub. But these are absolutely reasonable. By all means. I'd even say the bar is at the lowest possible. Never go lower. Legit, the only thing that seems very weird to me is the exercise 3 times a week. Take me. I am a butcher. I work out once a week. But I am really good in shape, as my work is pretty much a workout every day for 8 hours. So if you change this to a healthy body, this is more a lower limit of standards. X200B. I also never saw someone that thinks finding a man over 5'2" is some kind of height shaming. This is totally reasonable. The problem are the girls that say you need to be 185, as this is such a small tagepf people, so don't worry there. These are reasonable. Honestly, reading this, it's pretty sad you can't find many men to fit this criteria. They're not difficult criteria unless your political beliefs are very non-standard. Men who say women's dating standards are unrealistic are projecting. These sound basic and not unrealistic at all. Old can be exhausting, especially nowadays. Don't settle. Hang in there, girl. You've been trying for 9 months and you've met 2 guys who meet this long list of requirements. That seems like an okay rate.